In this video, I am making country style ribs in the Instant Pot. But before we get into that, if we're just meeting, I'm Denise Jordan, and I teach women how to make and keep a home. So if you want to learn more about running a household, hit that subscribe button and double tap that little bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Okay, let's cook some ribs in the Instant Pot. I have really been enjoying my Instant Pot. My sister gave it to me for my birthday, and she also gave me this cookbook to go along with it. And so I decided that I would make country style ribs. I had done a video on meal planning, and I will link that below just in case you're interested. But one of the things that I had mentioned to my ladies was to shop in your freezer, and I had country style ribs in my freezer that I needed to use up. So I flipped through this book to see what was what. I've made country style ribs in the Instant Pot before, but at that time I just put in little carrots, potatoes, onions, that kind of thing. It just had basic country style ribs with gravy over potatoes and carrots. But I wanted to do something a little different. And when I looked in here, I found a recipe for Chinese style ribs. So that's what we're making today. So let's get that started. The first thing that I'm going to do is to plug it in. And when you plug it in, it gives you a little beep. And it says off, but the little beep and the light comes on just lets you know that it is activated. Now this recipe looks amazing. It calls for 3 pounds of boneless country style ribs, 6 green onions chopped into cut into 1-inch pieces, 1 can of sliced water chestnuts drained, 3/4 cup of hoisin sauce. And hoisin sauce is kind of a thick, spicy, kind of a sweety, sour kind of sauce that you find in a lot of Asian food. So I'm really looking forward to using that, and I do have a bottle in my pantry. I am also going to need some soy sauce, some sherry or chicken stock. Don't have any sherry, so I'll use chicken stock. 5 cloves of garlic minced, 1 tablespoon of minced fresh ginger root, 1 tablespoon of light corn syrup, some orange marmalade, pumpkin pie spice, 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, cornstarch, and then some water. So I'm really looking forward to making this up. My husband's going to be so surprised when he comes home from work and it's not just the usual gravy on top of those country style ribs. Going to trim the fat off of them just a little bit. So I'm going to pour some of these green onions on the bottom, and then I'll put my ribs in. And you guys know how much I love carrots, so you know carrots are going into this dish. And since so many Asian foods have carrots in them, it can only complement it. Now let's mix in the water chestnuts. And these are just water chestnuts that I picked up at the store. They're sliced and I drained them. So now I need to put together the sauce that's going to go on top. So let me get the goodies out for that. So we're going to go with 3/4 cup of hoisin sauce, 1/2 cup of water, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of chicken broth. I could have used sherry, but I don't have any sherry, so I used chicken broth. 5 cloves of garlic minced. And I need a tablespoon of fresh minced ginger root. And in case you're wondering what it looks like, ginger root looks like this. This is what the inside of it looks like. And you have to peel it and then mince it up. 1 tablespoon of ginger root minced. 1 tablespoon of light corn syrup, 1 tablespoon of orange marmalade, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. We'll just whisk this together. And then we'll pour this over our meat and veggies. So that's what it looks like with all the goodies inside. So now let's put our lid on. And lock it in place. Make sure the vent is turned to ceiling. And then select the pressure setting. If you don't have a pressure setting, you would select the manual setting, but I'm going to select the pressure setting. It goes to 30 minutes. So just as a recap, I set it on the pressure setting, and that automatically goes to 30 minutes, but I only wanted it to cook for 25. So when I pushed the pressure button, I then went to the minus button and reduced the time to 25 minutes, and then the pot automatically kicks on. And so now it says on, and it lets you know that it's beginning to heat up, and it'll say on until it comes to temperature, and then you'll see the 25 minutes and it'll start to count down. And in case you're wondering how I plan to serve this Chinese style ribs, I'm going to serve it over a bed of rice, so I just can't wait for it to come out. So I let this release naturally for about 13 minutes, so now I'm going to quick release the rest of the pressure so that I can get the meat out and start working on the sauce. And I just used a wooden spoon to just kind of push it away to the release valve. I usually will use my finger to do that, but one of my subscribers suggested using a wooden spoon just for safety's sake. So I thought, well, you know what? I should show that to you as well. So I'm just using a spoon, just letting it go. And I don't have to worry about the steam getting on my fingers. Now I'm going to open it up. And always lift the lid away from you, so if there's any steam left, it goes away from you and not on you. And smells good and looks pretty good too. It smells just like one of those Asian dishes you might get at P.F. Chang or something like that. So now I'll need to take the meat out so that I can work on that sauce. So now I'm going to make a little thickening for the sauce. I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water and just give that a little stir. And I did turn it off and then set it on the saute cycle so that I could create the thickening. And then I just stir that in to let it thicken. And then I'll have this tasty sauce to put over my Chinese style ribs and rice. So this is nice and thickened, so I think I'm about ready to plate this up. This will be perfect over the top of that ribs and rice. So I'm going to press cancel to turn it off. So now I'll add the sauce on top, and this meal is ready to serve. So now let's give it a taste. It's delicious. The hoisin sauce really makes all the difference, but it is just a teeny weensy bit spicy. I think next time I'll go with a 1/4 teaspoon of hot pepper flakes rather than a half. But other than that, it's really good. loving the flavor. The hubby's gonna like this too. And if you like this video, I have a few others where I use the Instapot to make meals for my family. I will link them above with an iCard as well as link them below. And just so you know, I've raised 3 children. I've managed a home for more than 45 years, and I am a nurse by profession. So if you want to learn more about making and keeping a home, subscribe. I would love to have you as a member of the TNT community. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying goodbye. I will see you next time.